Good afternoon and welcome to Winchester News Online. My name is Owen Noon. House prices in Winchester have risen by an average of £12,000 according to the latest government figures. Alistair English is at one of the most expensive places to live in the city to understand more about the recent trends in the market.
Here at Beaumont Green, house prices are at an average the highest in Winchester. According to government data, the average is about £980,000. However, this isn't the highest it's been. Back in 2018, it was £1.4 million at an average. But house prices have been dropping off, they have been rising, and in the last 2 years they have risen from £700,000 to about £900,000. However, in the last 3 months, house prices have levelled off, according to Dibbles, and are actually going down again.
I wouldn't say that we're seeing systematic drops yet. Do I think that the market might drop slightly? Yes, probably. I think we can't.
Long term?
It will probably be in the mid-term. I would say that over the span of the next few months, you'll see it more so statistically because these things take time. It's not an instant fall off a cliff. I would say, looking at it currently, there's certainly an element of stagnancy across the market towards leaning to a bit of a dip, in all honesty.
House prices are fluctuating at the moment, however all eyes will be on the autumn statement in 2 weeks' time to see if the government can add some stability to the market. Alistair English, Winchester News Online.
The people of Winchester came together in a fight for carbon neutrality at the Winchester District Climate Assembly. The all-day event was hosted at Winchester's Guildhall on the 22nd of October and was supported by climate awareness charities such as Winchester Together for Our Planet, Win for the Climate and the Environmental Alliance Project. Our reporter Nayana McGee was at the event.
Discussion, deliberation and decision-making. This was the mission of the Winchester District Climate Assembly. The event brought together residents, campaigners and leaders of the community to tackle the climate crisis.
Winchester City Council has set its overarching priority to be dealing with the climate emergency. What we're trying to do is listen to what local people think should be our priorities in terms of actions, what's achievable, what they're willing to take part in, so that we can all move forward together.
After hearing proposals from invited speakers, participants discussed what local action should be prioritised in order to achieve a zero-carbon future. The day comprised of 3 main points of discussion: changes in clean sources of energy, achieving pollution-free transport, and reducing consumption and throwaway culture.
I see sustainability as incredibly important, and that's what really kind of gravitated me towards this event, seeing different ways sustainability can be looked at in Winchester and managed, with the idea of kind of bettering the town to reach a point of carbon neutral at least some point in my lifespan.
Anyone living, studying or working in Winchester was invited to have their say and take part in the discussion for Winchester's future.
The idea is to move from that kind of individual feeling that we have to act on the climate crisis to really communicate what the people in power can do about that. So it's quite empowering in a way to think that some of these suggestions that are coming up today will land on people's desks, will get put forward in a report and will be considered by the people who actually have the power to make change.
The findings from today's assembly will be shared with Winchester City Council to help grow their plan to achieve net zero by 2030. Nayana McGee, Winchester News Online.
In light of recent political turmoil, seats like Winchester could change parties at the next general election. Our reporter Harry Jewell went into Winchester to find out more.
At the last general election almost 3 years ago, the Liberal Democrats came a close second to the Conservatives in Winchester, losing out by just 985 votes. With a third Prime Minister in just a few months recently appointed, could Winchester be changing parties once again? This interview was recorded while the Conservative leadership election was still ongoing.
This campaign is completely different to anything we've had before. Now, we've got a Conservative Party that's once again focusing on their own leadership elections. They're taking people for granted. They're not in touch with the struggles that normal people have.
The Conservative Member of Parliament for Winchester, Steve Brime, spoke to us about his work in the Winchester constituency. Nobody owns Winchester. I treat my job the same with a 1,000 majority as I did with a 10,000 or even 17,000 majority in the past. I continue to be the MP here because I work hard, do my job and local people support me. I will do so long as that remains the case. While the Conservatives are in power in Westminster, they are in opposition on Winchester City Council.
But I think fundamentally we're still the same party. There are obviously different characters in charge, different members of the cabinet, and who knows where we'll be in 2 years' time when we have the election as to who will be on the front bench and who will be leading.
Has recent political upheaval affected those living in Winchester?
I think the government should do better.
I'll be voting Liberal purely for the fact that I don't like the other two.
Say Conservative, but change MP, definitely. I don't think he's done a good job for the city at all.
Amidst political instability, it remains to be seen which way Winchester will swing at the next general election. Harry Jewell, Winchester News Online.
With Remembrance Day just around the corner and poppy sales beginning to rise, I visited Leap Beach to see what they've been doing to mark the occasion. To coincide with the launch of the British Legion's Poppy Appeal, Leap Beach in the New Forest has unveiled a tribute of handmade poppies made to look like a cascading wave. The poppy wave is made up of 1,940 knitted and crocheted poppies. These poppies were donated by the Waterside Poppy Ladies, Waterside Veterans Coffee Club, Badgers Holt Care Home, and by members of the public. Overall, there were 2,140 poppies made to help decorate the railings and the stairs, as well as the main display.
I was very nervous as to how impactful it would be overall. Working on it at a small scale in a classroom, doing it each individually by hand, it's harder to get a sense of the scale, but then seeing it up and seeing people's faces as they were walking by, even just as we were doing it, was incredible, and it turned out even better than I could imagine. The British Legion's been incredible. They've been so supportive of the wave in general, but since they helped start the ball rolling with the initial collection of poppies, we couldn't have done it without them.
Leap Beach also played a big role as an embarkation point for thousands of troops involved in the D-Day landings in Normandy 1944. Some of the wartime installations can still be seen around the beach today, and with the poppy display being placed at the centre of all of this history, it really helps paint a picture into what Remembrance Day is all about. Owen Noon, Winchester News Online. After a City Council meeting, it's been confirmed that Vodka is extending its opening hours. Sinead Cochrane is at Vodka with more.
Yes, the students of Winchester are happy as Vodka have been allowed to extend their open hours, with 3 AM Monday to Thursday and 4 AM Friday and Saturday. However, this does come with some new rules to ease locals' minds, such as an annual community meeting and a public hotline to pledge any complaints. There will also be more security patrolling the streets after closing. Back to you in the studio.
And finally, let's take a trip up the country as we visit one of the most famous stately homes in the UK, a venue for weddings, filming and much more. Tom Hooker went to take a look at what was going on.
Tucked away in the heart of Buckinghamshire, at the stunning Headser House, was the second ever iteration of Sleeping with Art. The event uses the canvas of the famous stately home to showcase the finest in both artwork and the automotive industry.
We are so passionate about what we do, which is cars and art, that we wanted to sleep with it, to have it around us. So that's how the actual name came about. The rooms themselves, we have artwork in the rooms, so you literally sleep with art. That's the concept. It's a bit of an off-the-wall concept, but it made sense and people are embracing and loving it.
A perfect example at centre stage was Radical Motorsport, who showcased one of their sporty machines with an interesting twist.
There's some amazing cars here that are all finished, but to actually see someone painting onto a car whilst the show is on actually gives it a little bit more, I guess, entertainment.
As well as a mix of pretty paintings and racing machines, there's also limited edition and world-first supercars on show.
Coming to Sleeping with Art is the perfect opportunity for the Fittipaldi Evija. It's his first public showing since we launched it to the world only a couple of weekends ago. It is the company's first electric car. It is the company's first hypercar. It is also the UK's first and only electric hypercar.
And right next door was the bold and bonkers BAC Mono R, one of only 30 to be produced.
It's a complete new car. It's a completely new body, new chassis, new power plant, magnesium gearbox. It's all new. It's a wonderful setting, obviously. Fantastic people here, fantastic other artists. It's great talking to all the other creative people.
The second installation of Sleeping with Art has been nothing short of a success, combining both speed and style. That's here to stay for many more years to come. Tom Hooker, Winchester News Online.
That's all your news for now. Thanks for watching and see you next week.